Okay, here we go. Getting fit in 12 minutes a day. It's sounds like some stupid clickbait, YouTube, Instagram, whatever link that people would do. That's total nonsense, and you'll realize that it's a lie and they just wanted to get, again, clicks. That's not it. You can get fit in 12 minutes a day. One of the biggest challenges people face is I don't have time, I don't have enough equipment, I don't have enough whatever. They're low on that stuff and oversupplied on excuses. So hopefully this gives some knowledge and some insight as to how, if you happen to be, maybe this isn't going to be forever, but a phase in your life that you literally are so strapped for time that 20 minutes is a luxury. But you can find 15, you can find 12, you can find 10, something like that. You can make something really cool happen. I'm not lying to you. Let's dive into what I mean. So this post was inspired by something I saw yesterday as I was scrolling through the Lynchpin private Facebook group. This is from Carl L. And he posted, "The Lynchpin discipline is working." And he said, "I spent 20 hours traveling to Hawaii for work yesterday." 20 hours is a rugged day of traveling. Spent 20 hours traveling to Hawaii for work yesterday, getting in late due to delays. I woke up and went to my first day of meetings for 9 hours. Got back to the hotel, considered just going to grab dinner and calling it a night. Every ounce of me supported that plan, but I didn't listen. I got into the hotel gym and I knocked out what I could do with the trusty 50-pound dumbbells. He did the limited equipment option for Lynchpin. Fitness was achieved. I feel great for getting in there and getting it done. That simple little statement, if you can become that person that chooses the different path than most people, then you will have a different life, largely in a positive sense. Because, not to be overly cynical, but most people's gut reaction is comfort, right? Pleasure over discomfort. And so you get these two competing forces in your head. One is going to the hotel gym when you're tired and jet lagged and had a long day and doing like thrusters with a pair of 50-pound dumbbells. That doesn't sound pleasant. Going into that comfortable hotel room, clicking on the TV, snuggling up into the bed, ordering a bit of room service. You deserve it, right? You had a long travel day. You're jet lagged. You can get fit tomorrow. The devil has won if you choose that. And I'm being silly, but honestly, if you could be the sort of person that chooses what you should do because you understand the long-term payoff, and you don't choose the short-term immediate dopamine gratification of snuggling into the hotel bed, you will be a different life form than most people in 5 years. That's just how it is. So, as we often do with Lynchpin, we do what's effective, not what's popular. And I'm not going to wrap everybody up in a warm, comfortable lie. We're going to tell the truth. And if that's, some people feel a bit triggered, I'm sorry, that is what it is. Sometimes the truth stings. But let's talk about how, if you're not meeting your fitness goals, here are some ways that you can maybe actually make it happen. Getting fit in 12 minutes a day. Yes, it's possible. Now, I said fit. I didn't say fittest on earth. I didn't say in 12 minutes a day you're going to optimize your general physical preparedness and have no holes in your game. That would be a lie. I'm not going to lie to you. Can you be fit and healthy in 12 minutes a day? You absolutely can. Will you have a phenomenal deadlift in Fran time? Probably not. Nope. But will you be fit and healthy? Yeah. And so there's also a difference, like I said, between the ideal world and the real world. The ideal world is you've got a beautiful, uninterrupted hour every day to train. The ideal world is you don't have any nutritional hiccups. The ideal world is you always sleep beautifully. The ideal world is you're never sick or stressed out. The ideal world is you've got beautiful flexibility in all your joints. The ideal world is you haven't had any accidents over the course of your life. The ideal world is you have all the gear in the world. And if you're living that ideal life, I have nothing but love for you. I'm happy for you. But if you find yourself not in the ideal world, that some of those have been disrupted by the real world, that's not a reason to throw in the towel. There are things that you can do to make it happen. And I'm going to go with the worst case scenario. I don't have an hour and all this gear. I got 12 minutes a day and no gear, except for maybe a pull-up bar or a set of like low-hanging rings. That's all the gear I've got. Okay. So why this is so important to not give up and do nothing, to realize that even if you have 12 minutes, you can move the needle forward compared to doing zilch, is because the key to success, if I could sum it up in one word, it's consistency. 100%, unquestionably, consistency wins in the long run. You don't have to have a bunch of great training days. You just need to get your butt into the gym, the garage, the hotel, start doing burpees in your room. You got to do something. You need activity. You need action. You don't need excuses. And it doesn't need to be perfect. It can be heavily scaled and modified and whatever, but you got to do something. And that's the key to success. Find a way to be consistent, because consistency wins. And I've said before that, there's that saying that something's better than nothing. Well, I do something because it's better than nothing. What I don't like about that phrase is it implies that doing something is just marginally better than doing nothing, just barely better than at least I didn't do nothing. I disagree with that. I think doing something is infinitely better than doing nothing. And if you can swap that into your head, then you'll realize you're not going to have a bad workout. The fact that you got in any style of workout, that's a win. That's a great day. So, okay, and chances are you've got 12 minutes. You got to be a disciplined person to make this happen. Again, I'm just going to shoot you straight. You don't want to be somebody, I've heard somebody say this way and I really like it. I can't remember who. Don't be somebody who lets their mood dictate their actions. You're in the mood not to work out, you're probably not going to be in the mood to work out tomorrow or next week or whatever, because life's hectic. You're in the mood to do whatever. I read that gentleman's post a second ago. His mood was go back to the hotel room, relax, you deserve it. But he chose not to let his mood dictate his actions, because the correct action was don't go back to the bed in the hotel room and click on Netflix. Go down to the gym, put on your favorite music, and grab the 50-pound dumbbells and make something happen. So don't be somebody who lets their mood dictate their actions. Community certainly helps, right? You don't need to be on this journey alone, and you're certainly not alone. If you're a part of Lynchpin or a part of whatever it happens to be, your local network, your family, your friends, like you don't have to do this alone. How to do this? You can go ahead, determine your why, your goals. Why is fitness important to you? Athletic achievements, being around for your kids. You've got chronic disease that's ravaged your family. You want to live independently for a long time. You want to go down a size in your genes. Whatever it happens to be, figure out why this stuff is important to you. Write it down if that helps. And identify a path to reaching that particular goal. And then just start making small steps. Huge steps seem overwhelming, so make small steps. And once you get gradually acclimated and those small steps don't seem like the end of the world anymore, then you can take a little bit larger of a step and a little bit larger of a step. And it's probably going to be hard, and it's probably going to be difficult, and it's probably going to be uncomfortable, but that's good, because unique people that have achieved their goals do hard, challenging things. A life of comfort and ease is most likely not going to yield what you want it to yield. It's going to be because you chose to take a harder path, a different path than most people. Doing hard things is good for you both physically and mentally. So embrace that challenge. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It comes with the territory. You've got to sacrifice a little bit. And doing something hard doesn't mean you need to do a cold plunge at 4 a.m. in 37-degree water and have a borderline, trip to the hospital. That's not what I'm talking about. If you got a lot going on, just starting to wake up 30 minutes earlier to do something, that might be plenty hard. If if your lunch every single day is 2 quarter pounders with cheese from McDonald's, a large fry, and a large Coke, hard might be making it 2 quarter pounders with cheese, a large fry, and a small Coke for a month. And then the next month, 2 quarter pounders with cheese, a large fry, and a water. And then you take the next step again, step by step by step. Whatever is hard is a relative thing to you, but you're going to have to do something hard if you want to move the needle. Period. End of story. What I've found powerful is write down a list of 10 things that would significantly either make you a better person, improve your life, improve your fitness goals. All those can be together. Make a list of 10. And the things that you're not doing. And then imagine how incredible your life would be if you even did 2 of those 10. You'd probably be a different person a year from now. And again, these are things that have been said by other people in various ways, and I think they work, which is why I like them. Writing that list down and imagine if you just did 2 out of the 10. That would pay off huge. You don't have to do all 10. If you get there, great, but tick something off the list or start making some meaningful advancement towards it, and seeing it written down is a good thing. Now, most people do have 20 to 30 minutes a day, if we're being real, okay? And if they don't, well, you're probably not listening to this podcast or watching this video, because this implies to some degree that you have free time. So if you're listening to this or watching this and not currently achieving your goals, it's probably not a time issue. Sorry. And then if you've got a friend that's not watching or listening to this, and they say they have no time, and you took out their smartphone and you went to the part of the phone that tracks their screen time over the course of the day, I bet you could carve out 20 minutes. And they'll say, "Oh, I work on my phone. That's why my screen time's so high." Sure it is. There's 20 minutes in there somewhere that we could find for most people. So it's most likely not the time. So let's talk about, okay, I'm going to give you 12 minutes, Pat. That's all you're going to get. What in the world do you want me to do? Here it is. You're going to do 3 different workouts, day 1, day 2, and day 3. And you're just going to repeat them. Once you finish day 1, day 2, day 3, start back over. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 1, day 2, day 3, all year long. And we're going to compare this to had you chosen to do nothing. So here's 12 minutes a day. On day number 1, for 10 minutes, you're just going to do burpees. Yep, it works. Didn't tell you it'd be fun, but I'm going to tell you that it works. For 10 minutes, you're going to do burpees. You can do it as a 10-minute AMRAP. You can do it EMOM style, where you're going to do 5 burpees every minute, 6 burpees every minute, 7 burpees every minute. You can vary that every now and then. But for day 1, 10 minutes, burpees. No gear. For most people, no warm-up. Start off slow. Again, this is not ideal. This is real. We're working with what we got. So that's day 1. On day 2, 12 minutes of your time is going to be required. You're going to do 4 rounds of 2 minutes of running and 1 minute of air squats. So that takes 3 minutes. Multiply that by 4, gives you 12 minutes. In that 2 minutes, hey, if you can go out and run 400 meters, great. If not, run a minute out, run a minute back. It's snowing where you are, you still don't have excuses. Do jumping jacks for 2 minutes. Run in place for 2 minutes. Can't quite run that far for 2 minutes, do a minute out, run, walk, or jog, in any combination of that. And as you get better, you'll walk less and you'll jog more. And these things just kind of work themselves out. And so 2 minutes of running, jogging, or walking, 1 minute of air squats, 4 times, 4 rounds. There's a 12-minute workout right there. And on day 3, for 10 minutes, you're going to accumulate as many pull-ups as you can. Strict, kipping, weighted. You don't have that. Use bands, do ring rows, do bent over rows. You can do some form of pull-up for 10 minutes. That's your week's workouts. And then you're just going to repeat it again and repeat it again. And those are 2 10-minute workouts and 1 12-minute workout. Okay. Now let's actually you could add to that if you had any gear at all. Those air squats, after a couple of weeks or months, maybe they become light goblet squats. Got a pair of dumbbells, they become light dumbbell squats. I mean, there's so many different things that you could do. I threw that together with like 2 minutes of thought, no real creativity. The sky's the limit from that. But with that basic template, let's run the numbers if you actually did that for 1 calendar year versus doing nothing because you don't have time. So you add up the numbers. You just keep repeating these 3 days all year long. Let's say that on that burpee day, 10 minutes of burpees, you do 5 burpees every minute. You get 50 burpees. That's what we're going to say. And let's say on the air squat day, let's just say for simple math, during the 2-minute window, you ran 400 meters. So that's 4 times. So you're going to run a mile on those days. And the 4 1-minute times that you do air squats, you're going to get 25 air squats each time. So on those particular days, you will have done a mile of running and 100 air squats. And then on the 10 minutes worth of pull-ups day, let's say you get 50 pull-ups any style that day. So again, on day 1, you somehow accumulate 50 burpees. On day 2, you've accumulated 1 mile of running and 100 air squats. And on day 3, you accumulated 50 pull-ups. And you repeat that all year. What does that come out to? That 3-day cycle for 365 days, you would repeat that 121 times. And if you do the math, here's what that would equate to. Over the course of the calendar year, with a mere 10 or 12 minutes a day, you will have accumulated 6,050 burpees, 121 miles of running, 12,100 air squats, and 6,050 pull-ups over the course of the year. And you did that in 10 or 12 minutes each day with no real gear other than maybe a pull-up bar. That's it. So again, not enough time? Probably not the case. And if you look at one of those workouts as just a one single day, you're like, all right, I did 50 burpees today, Pat. I did 50 burpees in 10 minutes. You're going to tell me that's going to move the needle? No, maybe not this one particular day. But again, what did I say the key was? Consistency. And so now if you consistently did this, and I checked back in with you a year later, and you weren't eating like a drunken pirate, you would be an entirely different human being compared to your friend who chose to eat like a drunken pirate and didn't do any physical activity because they didn't have time. That's the point of the entire story. Just those small drops in the bucket add up incredibly after 1,000 drops or something like that. And that's with 10 or 12 minutes. You tell me that you've got 20 minutes a day? Send you to the Olympics. I mean, 20 minutes a day is fantastic. Now we can get into all kinds of other stuff. I bet we get in some actual kind of rushed heavy lifts, which I know those two don't go together, but with a lighter load and some reps, there are some things that we could make happen. We could do death by workouts because most people in most death by workouts aren't going to make it 20 minutes anyway. And it's kind of a built-in workout. So now I can do a death by dumbbell clean and jerk with a pair of 50s, pair of 35s, pair of 25s, whatever's appropriate for you. And 1 the first minute, 2 the second minute, 3 the third minute, 4 the fourth minute, doing some other stretches during the early minutes when you have more rest time. And then you kind of warmed up by rep number 7, feeling good, and you go as far as you can. Like, you tell me you got 20 minutes in a pair of dumbbells, you can become a ferocious beast of fitness if you have some knowledge and some discipline. But you don't need a lot of gear, and you do not need a lot of time. Do these things. Pay attention to your diet. You're going to be a different human being in the future. And this is all related to what we say linchpin all the time, which is just it's another brick in the wall of fitness, right? You're trying to build this wall of fitness to safeguard you, right? So you can have a long, healthy life. And you want to build a sturdy wall so that you're ready for whatever life throws at you. Well, you can build a sturdy wall with like huge bricks that weigh a lot, and if they're huge bricks that don't need a lot, well, you don't need that many of them to make it sturdy. If you don't have the time, you don't have the whatever, and your brick's going to be much smaller, well, then you're going to need more bricks to add up to a formidable wall. And that's what I'm talking about. This plan is a whole bunch of small bricks where each brick, looking at it individually, doesn't seem that impressive. But as the bricks add up and pile up and they join with one another and they become stronger as a unit, you have built something quite impressive, and it's absolutely possible. So do that. Another good brick in the wall. Eat clean, and you will win. And maybe you build from there when you're out of this phase in your life to your goal is to eventually do 3 linchpin workouts a week. When you get 45 minutes to an hour, great. And then from there to 4 workouts a week, there to 5 linchpin workouts a week. Great. That's fantastic. That's optimal. You will optimize your fitness doing that. But if you're not there at this point in time, you've got options, my friend, and you can do it. So hopefully that helps. Have a great day, and we'll talk later.